Hello, I'm Christopher Cole Giovanni. I'm here with my good friend Connor Gallagher, and today I just wanted to take a dive into his life, his experiences, his background, his future, and his present. So let's begin. Connor, thank you for being here. I wanted to start with your childhood and your background. I know you lived in Lorain, Ohio before this. So I wanted to kind of jump into that, and what was your childhood like? What did you do for fun? You want to elaborate on that for me, please?
Yeah. So my childhood there was honestly pretty cool. Like honestly, we lived in a bubble.
Okay.
And just being able to break out of that bubble has been really awesome.
Okay.
Because honestly, I'm finding my true identity.
Absolutely.
And just honestly figuring out everything has just been pretty cool.
That's great. I also wanted to talk about back in Lorain, your family life. Did you have a family member you're especially connected with? Did you guys have any traditions you like to follow? Stuff like that.
So my father and I, we basically go on installations together.
Okay.
So my father owns a company called Suntan Supply.
Okay.
And I don't want to get really into too depth with it, but
Absolutely.
but he's a tanning business. So basically,
Okay.
he sells tanning beds. He either use tanning beds and refurbish them, or he sells new tanning beds. So when we work with all that stuff, like my dad and I have a special connection because he's been doing that all of his life with my Uncle Marty, which is his brother. And my dad was like 16 at the time. Actually, no, not 16, 18 at the time. And he immediately moved out of the house because my dad was one of 13.
Wow.
So my dad had it rough going up, but he always had this passion to work. And when he worked, I kind of found how he worked. And
it rubbed off on you.
And it rubbed off into me because
Right.
I get that ability to work, and I know how to comprehend with him and know how to work in his field of play. So that's
Awesome.
just with my father and I.
Absolutely.
Like, that's how we work.
I'm glad to hear you guys had such a special bond. I would also like to take a dive into college so far. I know you both for the Notre Dame bowling team. I want to see how that's going for you. I want to see how kind of moving away from home has been and just the new atmosphere of Notre Dame College.
Right. So basically, Avon Lake never had bowling. That's what I'm going to say first.
Okay.
Because Avon Lake was the ground up. I basically saw it from the ground up. That's what I'm
Right,
gonna
the
say.
bowling team.
So yeah, so basically being in Avon Lake was everything to me because from freshman all the way to senior year, I found myself and I just honestly was just kind of really humbled because I saw it all the way up. But coming to Notre Dame has honestly been like life changing because I've been figuring out new ways how to react to people and how to the ability to. I've met you.
Right.
So I had the urge to knock on your door. Like,
Yeah,
like that one time, I remember I knocked on your door. I was like, hey, Chris, I had the feeling to literally come to your door.
Right.
But it's just cool how you meet people. But Notre
Absolutely.
Dame, my first practice was today. And it was the coolest thing I've ever seen because people with the same ability I feel like I have
And the passion.
and the passion I have for the game, I saw the similarities in everyone else.
I'm really glad to hear that. I also wanted to talk just a little bit on how the COVID-19 pandemic that this year has brought upon us has affected your college experience so far, and how you think it will affect you in the future.
Honestly, even from college experience, I don't really, I don't want to say I really care about college experience, but the high school experience for track, I was in track, and I was a long jumper, and I hit 19 junior year for 19 feet in long jump.
Wow.
And I was ready this year. I was like, oh, let's work out. Like, let's get ready. Like, I even though I'm like over exaggerating it, but I was like,
Right.
I'm ready.
COVID prevented that?
But yeah, I mean, COVID obviously prevented that, but even I don't even know, man. It just sucks.
It's
you can get so into depth with it because I mean, rest to the people that have passed away from it, but
absolutely.
It just sucks.
Absolutely. I also want to talk about, so from your college, from here, the next 4 years of your life, what do you hope to take out of that and apply into the future?
Well, my buddy, aka you, had an idea of starting a company, and I honestly want to be able to have a degree in that, in like marketing or some field of that way, and just be able to learn and just be able to bowl.
Absolutely.
Bowling has been my life. I want to be able to work on the road and be able to do what I love. which is
Absolutely.
cool.
Well, Connor, I thank you for your time here today, and I wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Chris. Absolutely.